On May 6, 2026, iShowSpeed was welcomed into the Dominican Republic with his own mural. But 2 days later, it was completely destroyed and there were chaotic scenes like these on the streets. This issue's divided the streaming world and divided the Dominican Republic, and the only certainty was that Speed definitely regretted meeting a man named Santiago. Santiago, who also goes by the name Alafoque, was essentially the DJ Academics of the Dominican Republic, but arguably a lot more powerful.
Even the first person who put me onto who he was Angelica. I used to date a girl named Angelica. Her name is Lil Gigi now. And I remember she said, he does what you do. And I always realized quickly, like, he has like 50 million much more power. When people talk about power, it depends on where you're at. Like, for hip hop in the United States, there's a lot of options beyond academics. I might be the loudest voice. I might be number one, but there's others. He has such a lock on that country that literally, like, he's kind of like almost, he moves around it like he's God. And I say that to say is like, when he wants to do some shit, you see, I don't know if this is the military or whatever, they roll with him.
As well as being a radio host and DJ, he also has his own online reality show called La Casa de Alafoque, and Academics broke down how, in terms of numbers,
he's done two like reality show stuff, right? Where it streams nonstop around the clock. And then he's now done this third thing, and they all are doing crazy views. Views that, I'm telling you, Kai Cenat can't see, Aiden Ross can't see, and look, Aiden Ross had to interview the president of the United States to get 500,000. This guy has 500,000 with people like brushing their teeth.
Alafoque is on a completely different level than any English-speaking content creator. One of Alafoque's guests on his show was Academics' ex-girlfriend. At the beginning of May, Casa de Alafoque won the Guinness World Record for the longest live video stream and most viewed live stream ever with 700 million views. When speaking about this on Twitter, Alafoque saw this as a win not only for himself, but for the Dominican Republic. He wrote, "New Guinness World Record for DR. Thanks to God and each one of you. Alafoque puts the country on the map as a leader in streaming worldwide, and we officially announced a collaboration with the best streamer on the planet, Speed, on his visit to the country." Speed had been touring around the Caribbean, so Alafoque wanted the DR to be the country that showed him the most love and reach 1 million live viewers.
I want 1 million. Quiero 1 millón por Speed en RD. Todo el mundo compartiendo el link. 1 million. Queremos 1 millón here.
What?
Que sienta República Dominicana. 1 million.
Chad, what are you saying?
1 million.
What are you saying?
1 million now.
Speed's personal record for concurrent stream viewers is 1.04 million views, which he achieved while touring Indonesia. But Alafoque was determined to make Speed break this record in the DR, and Speed soon passed a very important milestone.
1 million.
1 million! 1 million in the chat!
Let's go.
1 million viewers in the chat! What L? Oh my God! Oh my God, chat! 1 L in the chat! Shout out to Dominican Republic!
And it wasn't long that Speed achieved a new personal best.
I broke my record? I broke my weight. Wait, did I break my record?
In the Caribbean.
Did I break the record? Wait, did I break my own record?
The Caribbean.
Oh my God. I broke my own record.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
I broke my record?
Congratulations.
I broke my record, chat.
Blow party this night. Hoy fiesta, fiesta.
So this was an amazing day for Speed and an amazing day for the DR, whose economy heavily relies on tourism. But this is not where things ended.
1.2 million, 1.2 million.
1.2?
For the respect.
What the hell?
For the respect. 5.5.
What?
1.5.
Oh my. What the hell?
As the numbers continued to get higher and higher, Speed's reaction went from excitement to suspicion.
Rápido, rápido!
1.6.
1.6!
1.6. 1.6. 1.6. 1.6.
Are you serious right now?
And XQC was one of the many people raising the alarm that these views might not be genuine.
It's just a layer of bots today, but that doesn't mean that he's botting, like, you know what I mean? It's probably just somebody doing it to him. You know what I mean?
On the next stream, Speed delivered some bad news.
Oh yeah, chap. Dior. Chat, about that stream, we never broke our record. It was a great stream, but we only peaked at around like 300K. I talked to the YouTube reps. Somebody invited that stream. So Indonesia still holds the record. Indonesia is still the savior of that record, chap.
And this was when all hell broke loose. Although Speed didn't specifically mention who botted this stream, there were tweets and comments like this one which read, "Alafoke is a cheater when it comes to views. He always been using bots. I feel very bad you having a collab with him. DR is full of great, amazing people and better content creators. Alafoke is very famous there, but his fans are so naive that they think 1 million on a stream is normal." So this incident led to a general accusation that Alafoke bots his streams and raised further questions about his success, his reality show, and his Guinness World Record. And Alafoke did not hold back with his response.
Te están tratando de que yo me estrese mentalmente, de que yo me aborrezca mentalmente. Te digo algo, eso es gasolina para mí, porque yo sé de qué estoy hecho, yo vengo de la nada, brother. Nosotros, todo el modelo de negocio que ellos tienen en la vida. Apúntame la pantalla para acá, fui yo que lo inventé. Todo lo que ellos hacen fui yo que lo inventé. Speed cayó en algo muy estúpido hoy.
Que fue la pilita.
No, fue en algo muy estúpido. Pues entonces, él me está demostrando ahora mismo que yo soy más grande que él. Entonces, yo soy más grande que Speed. Yo soy más grande que Speed, entonces. Yo soy más grande que Speed.
Mucha bandera de redes, vamos.
No, manden Super Chat y regalo. Eso es fácil. Quiero mucho Super Chat y regalo.
He also claimed that he's been in touch with YouTube on the matter.
No fue 300K su pico. Porque el mismo contacto que él tiene en YouTube lo tengo yo. El récord está en República Dominicana, gente. Llévense de mí. Ahora, si él quiere esa retórica, que le dé para allá. Estoy viendo un video que está súper viral de Speed, donde habla de bots aquí en República Dominicana. No dijo nombre, pero se ha encargado muchísimas páginas.
¿Qué bots, primeramente? Bots, para yo entender.
Bots, esos son espectadores ficticios.
No son reales.
Ajá, que no son reales.
Okay.
Números inflados, ¿no?
Sí.
Él no dijo nombre, pero bueno, yo era el host ayer aquí con él y básicamente todo está apuntando hacia mí. Yo no tengo problema con eso. Yo no, como es su canal y le hace sus investigaciones, yo sí tengo los números que yo creo que se manejaron ayer. Y hay cientos de videos ahí, miles de videos ahí, de gente que se conectó el día de ayer porque yo estaba con él.
Alafoke argued that Speed caved into the criticism that he was botted.
Para mí es una cuestión de ego, de él. Se dejó montar presión de todos los streamers por allá. Dije que esto, que lo otro, porque ahí están los views en YouTube. 100,000 suscriptores también. O sea, hay muchas explicaciones técnicas que había una gran audiencia ayer.
Alafoke had also apparently paid for parts of Speed's trip, including the helicopter ride. He also said that he would never bot due to his loyalty to YouTube and turned down $500,000 a week from Kick to air his reality TV show. Alafoke then posted a picture of the Speed mural and offered to pay the property owner 100,000 pesos to allow him to remove it, which is roughly just over $1,600. This was soon removed in dramatic fashion, and people took to the streets to show solidarity with Alafoke. And this footage was captioned with, "He underestimated us, but we're not in the 90s anymore where we had to be beneath everyone just to get a break. Our artists carved their way in music despite all the blockades and difficulties." And very importantly, the stream had a figure of 2 million viewers. Overall, these protests and antics didn't exactly debunk the central issue that Speed may have been botted. And when you look into what other people have said about this stream, there is some pretty compelling evidence to suggest that Alafoke's entire platform uses bots. Many high-profile streamers leaned into the accusations that Alafoke bots his streams, and Asmongold was very damning about some of his figures.
And so let's look over here 10 days ago. So your videos, so let me get this straight. You're releasing produced videos that are getting 1/5 of the live viewers that you get? That doesn't even make sense. So you're really, I mean, these are produced videos that you've made yourself, and then you look at the live. Look at this here. Look at his shorts. 50K views, 68K views, 33. So this guy's getting 1 million live viewers and he's getting 33K views on a short? Are you kidding me? What the are we talking about? Yeah, this is insane. It's hella fake. It's crazy, crazy fake. This guy's entire presence is fake. Holy oh my God. And then look at his lives. All of his lives are super popular. Wow, what a surprise. Oh man. 1.6, 1.4 million. So expose him. I know nobody understands what he's saying. Well, yeah, because he's speaking Spanish, but that's not the point. So you've got all these people. Look at this. Everybody here thinks that they're part of something that's a really big deal, and they're all just getting view-botted.
Dolan Darkest also noticed something interesting about his reality show.
Well, as it turns out, the Dominican streamer who appeared in a stream had plenty of allegations about viewbotting in the past, and I feel it's extremely obvious. He's currently live right now on YouTube with 1.2 million viewers just watching some empty beds, and he has about 9 million subs on YouTube. So it's pretty likely he is the one who viewbotted Speed's stream.
What made things even worse for Alafoque was that Speed's cameraman, who assists him a lot, who has access to the back end, started to also call out Alafoque, tweeting, "His ego hurt because he was caught." Speed wouldn't go on live to lie. He never mentioned any names. He was transparent with his community because his community got played with. And someone from the Dominican Republic replied, "The Speed cameraman just spoke up. Where they put us, Dami's folks in a bad spot because of one single person. Speed, a homie loved by the whole world, has visited Asia, Europe, South America, and the Caribbean. Guess which country came off looking bad? As a liar. What a shame." And Slips replied to this with, "By the way, 200K concurrent viewers, CCV, is still amazing, and y'all showed out. It's super unfortunate that it has become overshadowed by idiots. We will return to DR, I promise you that." However, Alafoque was not willing to just allow Slips to criticize him unchallenged. He responded with, "Show the full panel. Dominica dominates the power of streaming. He was next to the Sultan. His team must have told him who I am wherever there is a Dominican." But these screenshots led to even more criticism, with one person replying, "He just exposed his method, botting through TV emulators." At the same time, there was one graph that was difficult to explain away. Alafoque earns an estimated $100,000 per day on his channel, estimated, and YouTube wouldn't simply pay out ad revenue for fictitious viewers and be in contact with someone over the long duration of time that Alafoque has been operating, not to mention the amount of money it costs him to produce these shows. If he wasn't getting paid real money based off of real views, it's unlikely that he'd be able to sustain it for this long. However, it's not out of the realm of possibility to believe that it would help him further to up his viewers 30%, 40%, and especially when he was aiming to beat a world record, which was Speed's viewership. That would look very good for the Dominican Republic, and in turn, Alafoque being the one to make that happen. But Slips responded by saying that he knows YouTube inside out from working with Speed, and explained 83% desktop and an average view duration of a sleeping dog. Bro, I've been live streaming on a global scale for 5 years now alongside Speed, analyzing stats like a crackhead whose life depends on it. You cannot fool somebody like me, as this has been and will continue to be my life. You can fool the internet communities, but now you're playing with our community and our integrity, which is where I draw the line entirely. You got defensive when nobody even said your name, and then went and destroyed murals painted by talented artists in retaliation. The respect bar has dropped to below zero. Now please save yourself from further embarrassment. Much love, sir." Slips then showed the streaming numbers from Jamaica and captioned it with "good stream," and implied that these were reasonable and believable numbers. And Alafoque responded, "Bad numbers for 50 million subs," with Slips replying, "I can only laugh at this. Holy ish." Things went from bad to worse for Alafoque when people started questioning just how popular he was in the Dominican Republic, with one person writing, "Stop using the country as your shield. They're pointing at you, not at DR. You son of a B, stop using the country." And there was even a letter of apology to Speed from a Dominican individual on his subreddit, which reads, "I have to say it clearly, Alafoque does not represent the Dominican Republic. He is not a role model, and his fan base does not speak for all of us. He has a controversial public image, a past that many people still bring up, and he should not be treated as the face of an entire country. The loudest part of his crowd promotes mediocrity, drama, clout chasing, and toxic behavior. That is not the image many Dominicans want the world to have of us. Speed deserved a better experience. He deserved to be around people who actually cared about showing him the beauty of the country, not people who were just using the moment for attention and numbers. It felt like he was treated more like content than as a guest." So there was clearly a concerted effort to take down Alafoque and supposedly expose him as some kind of fraud. Yet at the same time, there was also a significant counter movement, and all of the criticisms you've just heard all have a rational explanation. Alafoque has partnered with a marketing company named Brave Bison, who released a statement writing, "We are aware of online commentary and accusations suggesting that creators in the DR are artificially inflating views through bots or fake traffic. In relation to Alafoque and Planeta Alafoque specifically, we have seen no evidence whatsoever to support these claims." Now keep in mind, this doesn't take into account the specific stream that people are talking about, which is the one with Speed, not Alafoque's content regularly. Brave Bison takes platform integrity, audience authenticity, and advertiser trust extremely seriously. We have absolutely no reason to believe that Alafoque has engaged in artificial view inflation, bot activity, or any attempt to manipulate YouTube viewership. We would not support or partner with any creator engaging in fraudulent audience practices. Based on our long-term relationship with Alafoque, the data available to us, and our experience working directly with YouTube and creators globally, we believe Alafoque is a trusted creator whose audience success is authentic. As digital audiences continue to expand across emerging and fast-growing markets, it's important that creators are judged fairly and based on evidence rather than speculation. This seemed more like a PR statement for somebody that wanted to protect their interests with Alafoque and cleaning up his reputation than explaining what happened with Speed. And this is a British marketing company with over 200 employees, and they are also listed on the London Stock Exchange, so they've decided to risk their entire reputation to defend Alafoque. And the final paragraph made the very important point that these figures are coming from emerging markets like the DR, and Alafoque is operating in a completely different ecosystem than the US and other Western countries, which does lend itself to potentially being accurate, because I don't think many people would have expected IShowSpeed, especially Western audiences, to have his highest viewership ever, 1 million, when he was significantly smaller than he is right now, in Indonesia of all places. For example, Alafoque was accused of botting through TV emulators. Academics, who's originally from the Caribbean in Jamaica, explained how these figures could be genuine.
He has 640, oh my God, it's jumping about a second. He has 647,000 people watching right now. And according to his backend stats, 68% of that comes from televisions. Now, usually people watch YouTube on a phone, an iPad, some type of tablet. Usually it's not, or even a computer, usually it's not on your TV. And I'm not saying people don't watch on TV, but usually that's not where you get the majority of your traffic from. Here's the issue, or not the issue, here's the thing, and this is why I'm saying that maybe he's not using bots, but we got to analyze the culture of the DR. Apparently in Dominican Republic, YouTube is their cable. They don't really watch local stuff. They use their TVs to watch YouTube. So they'll put on these television stations, but it's being streamed through YouTube. So really, this guy is basically just like a TV channel. The reason why we don't know him is because, look, his traffic via cell phones is 30%. It's 30%. His traffic via TV is 70%.
In one tweet agreeing with this read, "They just can't understand that for millions of Dominicans, especially the ones who can't afford cable or subscriptions like Netflix, Foca is the only source of entertainment because it's free to watch." This could also explain the disproportionate lack of likes on his video, as people are more likely to like a video when using a device that's on their fingertips like a phone or iPad or laptop. It could also explain the retention rate, as people are more likely to stick with a TV show longer than a video on their phone. It was also argued that having 1.8 million concurrently meant that 1 in every 10 people in the Dominican Republic needed to have been watching. The reality is that, much like Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic is a cultural hub for much of the rest of the Spanish-speaking world.
It's something about DR, it's like the Spanish capital of the world. Because once you're Dominican, you get the people from Paraguay, from Peru, from Ecuador, Mexicans like you. You have obviously Puerto Rico, who's very close. You have the entire Hispanic diaspora that really check you out. Most Hispanic artists stream, or they are actually, they get way more streams than U.S. artists. That's why labels have said, hey, let's chase the money. Who gives a damn what language they speak? This is just another facet of, again, I'm going to assume it's not botted, but how dominant the DR is. The Dominican Republic is this untapped, I want to say landmine of just amazing, of streaming, if you ask me. Like, the biggest streamer in the world does not live in the United States. He lives in the Dominican Republic.
On the Club Ambition podcast, they explain how Alafoke's show is like a Love Island or a Big Brother in his country.
But it made sense to me because Alafoque, 2 million people watch La Planeta Alafoque, his reality TV show on YouTube, 24-hour streaming for 50 days straight. They watch it. Millions of people watch it every single day. They have it on TV at every single Dominican barbershop. In Dominican Republic, they have it in the nightclubs and everyone's houses. There's kids that literally have their phone, their tablet, their computer, everything on, watching it.
Nigga, I went to a corner store in South Providence and the had that shit on.
That's what I'm saying.
The corner store nigga was making sandwiches, watching Alafoque on the TV, bro.
It's an addiction.
And they claim that Alafoque is like academics in many different ways.
The Alafoque is a lot like academics. Like when someone says something about him, etc., they use that as energy and fuel to just double down, triple down, and make content, go off on them, etc.
Which led to an interesting theory of who could have botted the stream.
My theory is that if it was botted, I don't think it was Alafoque. I think it could have been someone of his competition or someone just trying to do it because they knew that they're going to connect it to him. Because it's like you were with him. That makes sense to me. Like you're the guy with the bots. You guys, the guy behind the bots.
And the biggest argument in Alafoque's favor is that YouTube continues to pay him and promote his channel.
You go to YouTubeLive.com, the homepage, La Planeta Alafoque. They're promoting him everywhere. Why would they promote him and he's the one that's botting? Now, it was on Speed's channel, so the botting scandal is really on Speed's stream. It's not really Alafoque, but in Dominican Republic, his haters and his competition in general, Luini, other people in the industry of YouTube and just streaming in DR have always alleged that Alafoque uses bots. It's been a thing for years. People have always said this. They call him Alobots, and they say it's bots. He went out to Dominican Republic in the streets. He announced it in 30 minutes, and then he's like, "I'm gonna meet me here at the office, and we're gonna go march the streets, all my fans." You would have thought it was like 1 million people in the streets, packed, bro. And he's like, "This is the bots. This is the bots. Where are all the bots?"
The Michael Jackson of DR.
He's a Michael Jackson of DR, bro.
And you could argue that at the point we're at right now, Alafoque is not the DJ Academics of the DR anymore. And if anything, Academics is the Alafoque of the US. And you could argue that Alafoque has long since graduated from being the Academics of the DR and is now more of a producer of large-scale shows than anything else. And his productions are impressive, regardless of how inflated the numbers may be.